El Salvador was once completely owned by the Mafia. Gangs and criminal organizations ruled neighborhoods like dictators. Kids couldn't play outside, buses stopped running after dark, families paid extortion money to avoid being murdered. In 2017, the total cost of extortion was estimated at approximately $756 million annually, accounting for nearly 3% of the country's GDP. But then, all of that changed because of one man. Enter Nayib Bukele. February 3rd, 2019. The air buzzes with anticipation as Nayib Bukele, a 37-year-old former mayor, stands on a stage in the city's historic district. The crowd chants his name as the election results roll in. Bukele, dressed in a leather jacket and jeans, adjusts his backward baseball cap. His wife, Gabriela, stands beside him. The crowd erupts as the final tally confirms it. Bukele is El Salvador's new president, the youngest in Latin America history. Bukele's heart pounds as he grips the microphone, his voice steady but charged with conviction. He promises to end the gang violence and the mafia that has claimed over 1,200,000 lives in just 3 decades. Everyone knows that El Salvador is a nation desperate for change. In his victory speech, he declares this is a new era for El Salvador. But what the crowd doesn't know, Bukele's rise to power will come at a cost, one that will test the limits of democracy and human rights, turning him into a global symbol of both hope and fear. These are the scenes just before the major crackdown began.
El Salvador. El Salvador. El Salvador. El Salvador.
El Salvador.
The crackdown on gangs intensifies in El Salvador. Concerns that human rights are being violated.
March 26, 2022. It's 3 a.m. In San Salvador, the city is reeling from a wave of violence that has left 87 people dead in a single weekend, the bloodiest in El Salvador's recent history. Nayib Bukele is currently sitting in his office at the Casa Presidencial while all of this is happening, his eyes bloodshot as he scrolls through reports on his phone. The killings, carried out by MS-13 and Barrio 18 gangs, are a direct challenge to his territorial control plan, launched in 2019 to curb violence. In his first year alone, Nayib Bukele had already halved the total gang violence happening in the country. But now, the gangs are sending a message, leaving bodies on the road to Surf City, a beachfront project Bukele has promoted to attract tourists. The massacre unfolds with chilling precision across San Salvador's poorest neighborhoods, where MS-13 and Barrio 18 gangs have long held sway. In Sopayango, a 22-year-old street vendor named Miguel Angel lies slumped against a graffiti-covered wall, his body riddled with bullets, his eyes still open in a frozen expression of terror. 2 blocks away, a mother of 3, Rosa Hernandez, is dragged from her home in the middle of the night, her screams echoing through the narrow alleys as gang members execute her in front of her children for refusing to pay a $50 extortion fee. On the road to Sur City, a pickup truck is found abandoned, its bed stained with blood, 4 bodies stacked inside. Those are local fishermen who dared to defy the gang's orders. The killings are a calculated act of defiance, a message scrawled in blood that the gangs still control the streets. Despite Bukele's promises of safety, social media erupts with images of the carnage, hashtags like San Salvador Sangra trending as citizens demand action. The fear palpable even through screams. Bukele's jaw clenches as he watches a grainy video of the Sopayango murders, the sound of gunfire crackling through his phone. He knows that the gangs are exploiting his earlier negotiations with them, secret talks exposed by El Faro in 2020, where his administration traded favors for reduced violence. Those talks had lowered the homicide rates substantially, but now the gangs feel betrayed by Bukele's refusal to release jailed leaders, a promise they claim he broke. Bukele slams his fist on the desk, the Red Bull can rattling as he types a message on X. This ends now. Within hours, he declares a state of emergency, suspending civil liberties like due process. By dawn, police and soldiers flood the streets, rounding up over 1,000 suspects in a single day, many with no evidence of gang ties. Bukele orders the arrest to be sent to the Terrorism Confinement Center, known as CCOT, in Tecoluca, the largest prison in Latin America, built in 2022 with a capacity for 40,000 inmates, designed to house the worst of the worst gang members. The entry process at CCOT is methodical and dehumanizing, a stark display of Bukele's iron fist policy. Each prisoner arrives in a heavily guarded convoy, shackled at the hands and ankles, their heads forced down by officers in riot gear. At the gate, they undergo a physical search and an X-ray scan to detect any hidden items, even scanning internal organs. Their heads are shaved and they're stripped to white shorts, their identities reduced to numbers. They're marched into one of 8 sprawling pavilions, each cell packed with 65 to 70 inmates, where rival gang members like MS-13 and Burial 18 are forced to coexist. The cells have no mattresses, just tiered metal bunks and light stays on 24/7. Inmates get 30 minutes a day outside their cells for exercise in a windowless corridor, or for online court hearings, Bible study, or solitary confinement in pitch black cells. They eat rice, beans, and pasta with no utensils. Meat is banned, and family visits, recreation, and education are forbidden. Bukele's Justice Minister, Gustavo Villatoro, declares they'll never return to their communities. Human rights groups report torture, overcrowding, and over 350 deaths in custody since 2022, calling CCOT a concrete and steel pit. Bukele's office releases a video of the shackled men. We've turned the murder capital of the world into the safest country in the Western Hemisphere. February 22nd, 2024, at 6 p.m. in Maryland, USA. And Nayib Bukele steps onto the stage as the Conservative Political Action Conference. The 42-year-old president in a tailored black suit adjusts his aviator sunglasses. Bukele, fresh off a re-election victory with 84% of the vote, speaks with confidence. The people of El Salvador have woken up, and so can you, he declares, urging the next US president to fight dark forces. The crowd erupts, with figures like Marco Rubio praising his iron-fisted approach. April 2025, Nayib Bukele, now 43, sits in his office in San Salvador, walls adorned with photos of his family, his wife Gabriela and daughter Leila. The city outside is a testament to his vision. Streets once ruled by MS-13 are filled with families, and El Salvador markets itself as the land of surf, volcanoes, and coffee. Bukele's approval rating remains above 90%, and his model is studied across the region. As Nayib Bukele said on X, "I'm the world's coolest dictator."